All right, we're going to talk about loops in our bash shell for Linux. So we have three types of loops we're going to look at. First loop we're going to look at is a while loop. While loop is basically saying that while this condition exists, do this, whatever's in these commands here. It can be just printing something, it can be something else. It's really useful if you want to do things like while this file exists, don't run these commands, or do run these commands, or while this file doesn't exist, run these commands. And that's some of the basic administrative ways it might be used. If you're looking for characters, you can go through them while these characters exist, change them to these characters, and then once the characters no longer exist, it'll stop running. So this one basically says count is going to be equal to 1. That's our variable. It says while count is less than 9, do print count, and then count up 1. So this will look like this when we run it. Basically going to count 1 through 9, very simple loop, and that's how it can be used. The next loop we're going to look at is going to be the for loop. There's two types of for loops, and the first one format looks like this. So we're setting I to 1. This is basically just to count. That's all it's going to do is show us that it's counting. This is the main part of the loops. For day, whatever day can be a variable of any kind. It can be whatever you choose. And then in, we're using Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It can be a list of fruits and vegetables. It can be a list of files. It can be a list of numbers, whatever you want it to be. So for day and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every time it runs, it's going to start with Monday. So day will equal Monday. The next run, it'll equal Tuesday. The next one, it'll equal Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This list can be as long as you need it to be. It'll continue to run until it reaches the end of the list. And the way this looks when you run it, it's like this. Weekday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it'll continue to run until it reaches the end of the list and assign. So I could add as many days as I needed. It would continue to run. The next one looks something like what you see in C programming, and this is basically your initialization. It's for I, so whatever variable you want it to be, equal to, for here it's 1, it can be whatever number or whatever you need it to be. I is less than or equal to 5. This could be greater than or equal to 5. This could be equal to 10. This could be less than 10, equal to 10. And then each time it runs, I increments. But this is what it's looking for to know when it's done running. So you need to know how many iterations you're going to do. So this will run through and say this iteration is, then it'll sleep 1. And once it's done, you'll see that it'll finish the file by going to the echo finish. So it keeps looking to see if it's met this condition before it stops. And the way this looks when it's run, and that's what the sleep 1 means. That's why it's taking its time each time through. It'll take 1 second to stop and show you what it's doing. This is iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then once it's done, it goes to finish. So you know that it reached I is less than or equal to 5, and that's when it stopped. The next loop is my favorite. It is the until loop. And it basically says, like the while loop, it says until this condition is met, do this right here. And the reason I like this so much is because until, if you say you need to move all of your files from one server to the next, you can say until these files, this folder or this file is empty, then continue to copy these over to the next server. Or if you need to change something, until all of these files have been changed to this, continue to run this program. So, and these are really good commands to know. Until, I think, has the most possibilities because you can use it endlessly. And the way this one looks is basically a countdown program. Count down from 10 all the way to 1, and then once I is less than 1, it will stop and it will continue the rest of the program, which is blast off. So basically 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blast off. And those are your loops. These loops can be used in many different ways. These are very simple loops. You can do very complex loops when you're actually doing administrative tasks and get lots of results from these loops. So back to programming and have fun.